So, it's been a little while, a little bit too long to be honest, and I do apologize for the wait, but it's for a very good reason this time. First off, is a little bit of a recap. Like I said last time, I've been uploading some shorts to fill these longer gaps in between major devlogs, and you can find a lot of the newer stuff there right as it happens. But anyway, we've got a lot of new stuff to talk about, some of which you can probably already see in the background. But without further ado, hello everyone, and welcome to the Project Spark devlog number 5. So, first off, we have some really big news for the project as a whole. A few months ago, I started this project by myself, as a totally solo operation. I posted the first devlog, I think 6 or 7 months ago at this point, showing off the very beginnings of this project, where I was doing basically a little bit of everything from modeling and artwork to actual programming and game development, alongside just general dev work to bring this project to life. But games are rarely built by one person. Therefore, I'm happy to announce that we are officially now a small 3-man team. Alongside myself, we now have Zoe on the art and modeling side of things. She's already helped create several new models and characters, some of which you can see in the background right now or even on the thumbnail, and is also just helping with general overall art direction and such. Then, on the programming and tech side, we have Oscar. He's helped with a lot of the programming heavy lifting, building a lot of the new, just game systems and such. For example, now when the player falls out of bounds or dies, they successfully reset to a checkpoint, or the game can successfully just reset itself, which is really cool. Altogether, I think we just kind of cover a whole spectrum of the process, from the art and concepting side of things, to the mid-ground of tech art and animation and rigging, all the way to the heavy-duty programming and dev side of things. In just the last month or so, we've made a ton of progress on all sides of the project. Things are really coming together very quickly, and we've got even more coming up down the pipe, but some of those are a little bit too rough to show off right now. In terms of new stuff that we do have working, there's a lot of new things compared to just the last devlog alone. For example, we have several new actual character and enemy models coming together, giving us a slightly more defined art style, but also giving us the ability to do some interesting texture and shading tests. This goes all the way back to that moving brushstroke material that I mentioned a few videos ago. It's a little bit too early to show much more, but it's all headed in a very cool direction. On the same note, as you've probably seen in some of the background footage already, we've been sinking some time into some actual level prototyping, complete with new environment models, particles, lighting, etc., etc. None of it is anything too crazy yet, but it's starting to come together into something that's a little bit more than just gray blocks and helps visualize how everything will eventually come together in the end. It also lets us put all of our new systems into a much more real environment. On that note, we have a lot of new gameplay systems coming together now. For example, enemy logic is even smarter than it was last time. Now they can accurately pathfind and adjust their path in relation to the player, even making small adjustments such as moving away from the player to ready for an attack, or to reposition just in the environment based on their surroundings. They also know where and when to attack based on distance. Some can even launch projectiles which fully interact with our damage system, and some can even spawn other objects like hazards or other actors on impact. On a much larger scale, we have an entire new backend for the entire game. For example, the damage system that was put in place around devlog 2 now extends into environment objects such as these new spinning fans or spikes, or even these out-of-bounds markers for things like bottomless pits and such. These slot into the existing damage system and trigger all the same events perfectly and interact with all the existing actors seamlessly. Further than that, these now communicate with the game instance itself, triggering these fade out and in events, and they also reset the player back to their last safe location. We also have these custom volumes that can designate non-safe areas as need be for level design. To go along with this, we even have functioning checkpoints. You can interact with them, which obviously activates them, as checkpoints do. The player will also be properly reset back to their last checkpoint if they die, and this also triggers a full reload of the level, resetting everything back to where it was before the player respawns. And, in fact, as of last night, we have actual level saving and loading, where you can quit out of a level back to the main menu and load back in right to where you were. Lastly, kind of hard to demo in this video. Various events are now properly communicating with the game instance and store global data for things like money, health, and whatnot. And on a checkpoint, it also triggers a save that stores these values into a file on the disk. I think that about wraps it up for this episode. Like I said at the beginning, there is a lot happening and a lot of new developments that I didn't even really have time to highlight. For example, we have a new work in progress camera system that lets us do a lot of cool dynamic movements that you've probably been seeing. Some of the new custom movement tech the player has, like the new swimming system and the fluids behind that, or the fact that we are moving combat over to the gameplay ability system, giving us a lot more flexibility and options for that. But those are all a little bit rough around the edges, so we'll talk more about that next time. Overall, just thanks again for watching. I hope you guys are excited as we are for where this project is headed. With all these new systems coming online and all the pieces starting to fit together, I think we'll have some really big stuff to show off next time, and hopefully much sooner. If you want to see more and stay up to date, please do subscribe or join the Discord link down below. Also, again, don't forget, we will be posting shorts in between all of these major devlogs, so keep an eye out for those if you're curious and want to keep up to date with all the cool new things as they happen. I might also make a post or two. I did that before this video came out, just to keep everyone more in the loop. But once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.